Hi, this is Jan Kelly. This is a progress report on an OCE bug, which has been in existence for a long time, named 11629. I'm going to share my screen here just for a second to show you what the bug is. So it's switching to SF for map projection and polygon calculations. That's what it is. And I'm doing this on the 24th of December 2020, so a little over a year since this thing got started. So it's been I'm going to just scroll a little bit. You can see there's been an awful lot of discussion. And it kind of got stalled. The last time it had any real input was several months ago. So the deal is that we want to move away in OCE, we want to move away from rgdal toward SF instead. I'm going to stop sharing that. And now I'm going to share an editor window so you can see one of the main places where this where rgdal is used is in OCE project. And this is a wrapper that is basically designed that many map projection calculations can be done without direct calls to rgdal or SF. I'm in Vim, and the three curlies here mean it's folding. So maybe I'm not too concerned about the folding just for the moment, so I won't explain how that works. But these three are the beginnings of the block, and then you can see here the endings of the block. So I have a block above, which is what I'm calling the old rgdal method, a block below the new SF method. The details don't really matter. What's happening here is that we're calling a project from the rgdal package. That's what's going on here. Now, there's one of the reasons we want to move away from rgdal is that it behaves differently on different platforms. We had to have a special little tweak here if the OS type is Windows and the architecture is i386. And if the package is, anyway, you can kind of see if you're going to read any kind of code, you can see that we're messing around here a lot. I don't even know that this is required anymore. Maybe it all works at this stage, but honestly, I want to wash my hands of rgdal. I don't mean that in a bad way, but I want to have one. We can use SF to do not just map projections, but other things as well. So if we have a dependency on SF, I don't see that we need to have another explicit dependency on rgdal. This is the old method. It's storing something called capital X, here we are, called capital X, capital Y. That's what it's doing. And then what we do is for the new method, we see if we have a fairly recent version of SF, which I've had on my machines for a long time. Then we basically go through a bunch of calculations. We're calculating lowercase xy, and then we save the results of that into uppercase xy/sf. So prior, the rgdal, uppercase xy, with sf, uppercase xy/sf. And then this is the key thing. What we do here is we compare, and we just ask if we get the same results. This has been in place for many months now, and I've never seen a warning of this type. I've never had a user tell me of a warning. You can see here the warning comes up saying, please post an issue if you find it. This really makes me feel as though SF and rgdal are giving identical, numerically similar results. And since we've had a long period of this testing, my feeling is it's time to remove this old rgdal stuff. And assuming that rgdal and SF were roughly equal in speed of calculation, this would double the speed of our map projection calculation in OCE. Now, I don't want to give the impression that I think that will make a difference for a user, because the main thing that burns up time for a user is you're plotting. Typically you're plotting. You're making a graph of some of your data on a world projection. That's probably taking most of the compute time. However, what I would like to do is to just get rid of this kind of funky code which I think just could be different. rgdal could be different in a few months. Um, I guess SF could be different as well, but my impression is that a fair bit of work is going on in SF now to make it be. SF is a new version of SP, by the way, and well, as I say, I began this little video by showing you a web page. Um, and there's been a lot of discussion. I'm not going to recapitulate the discussion. Simply going to say that a decision has been made in OCE to switch from rgdal to SF. And now over the winter, the solstice break, I will be doing that coding. And I think what I'll probably first do is to comment things out. I normally do this. I comment out blocks of code. So I'll comment out this whole block here. And maybe I'll see what is, how old is this SF? If I can reasonably expect that all users will have at least that age, I mean, newer than that age, then we could just have a simple, we could just die at this point and remove this, the fact that this is in a block. And of course, I'll remove this comparison as well. And that's what I'll be doing. Perhaps I'll do it in the next day or two.